So hello everyone. I'm going to present you our paper with the number 5892, the Metaverse virtual reality and its impact on the buying behavior and empirical study, from me, myself, Valerie Busse from the Munich University of Applied Science, and Professor Dr. Christine Strauss from the University of Vienna. So the Metaverse represents a rather novel iteration of the future internet, which is currently features various technologies. This makes the scope of the application extremely broad. An important B2C application refers to online shopping. A survey is conducted to analyze possible influences of the attitude behavior relationship of buyer behavior, and based on the classic behavior perspective model of purchase and consumption, the BPM model from Foxall. And we conducted 8 different hypotheses, and the survey investigates to what extent a selected part of the metaverse, namely the virtual reality, affects the buyer behavior based on the BPM model according to Foxall, and provides insights into the changed buyer behavior of digital native aged between 20 and 25. So the metaverse is a 3-dimensional virtual world inhabited by avatars of real people. And the term meta got viral as Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that his company will now be called as Meta. So there are current changes in customer demands, also based on or due to the corona pandemic, of course. So for instance, an increased online purchasing behavior, increased customer need for social experiences, higher demand of transparency, increased focus on sustainability, omni-channel communication, stronger human elements in customer interactions. And the applications of Metaverse is quite broad, so it is applicable in work, collaboration, manufacturing, logistics, education, trainings, of course in the consumer sector, government, public sector, adventures, experience, and also in well-being and health sports. But there are also some drawbacks of the Metaverse. Potential drawbacks is, for instance, the the psychological risks because of sexual harassment or different factors such as mental health problems due to mobbing in the metaverse, or also there are risks for the generation Z because they just know this kind of digital world, and they get a different kind of scenery on how the world really works. And another drawback, of course, is the high costs that not everyone has access to the metaverse, and also the glasses are quite expensive and the gloves. So when we start now with the theoretical and conceptual background, we have we use the BPM model from Foxall, as I said before, as this is a very common or most common model used to analyze buying behavior. And the BPM model is based on 2 fundamental theses. First, the expression of current customer behavior is a function of customer behavior in the past. And second, the determinants of customer behavior must therefore be identified more in the customer's environment than in the customer's personality itself. And we conducted 8 different hypotheses. And in the BPM model, the situation analysis shows that the customer behavior is determined by 5 factors, as you can see here: the current behavior settings, the customer's learning history, hedonic reinforcement, aversive stimuli, and informational reinforcement. As you can also see here, that We have hedonistic amplifiers are offered in particular by the Metaverse, for example, in virtual reality. Furthermore, Foxall distinguishes 4 categories of buyer behavior: accomplishment, pleasure, accumulation, and maintenance. And from these theoretical principles, the following 4 questions can be addressed by focusing on the change buyer behavior of the Metaverse. So customers buy consumer goods in the Metaverse because their behavior can be status symbol character, so the accomplishment. Customer buy consumer goods in the Metaverse because they feel great pleasure or high hedonic, for example, via virtual reality. Or customers buy consumer goods in the Metaverse because they are bargain hunters, accumulation, high influence of price or purchase. Or customers buy consumer goods in the Metaverse because they do not routinely and regularly, because they do it routinely and regularly every week. So here we have the survey questions. In total, we have 16 different questions and tested the hypothesis based on these questions. So the main results of the survey show that 94% of the participants know the type and appearances of the Metaverse, according to question 1. On the subject of influencing the Metaverse on buyer behavior, the participant answered as followed: 22% positive, 11% negative, and 19% indifferent. Question 2. To the question, to which extent will customer behavior change as a result of Metaverse, the mean value was 6.6. Pre-sales activity percentage of entity purchase processes up to 60.5. Question 7. 45.8% of the participants are scared of the development of the Metaverse. Question 8. 67% of the participants can imagine that avatars create status symbols which can influence the buying behavior. Question 13. And 79% of the participants are convinced or can imagine that buying durable consumer goods in the Metaverse can promote bargain hunters. Question 15. So here we also have the rating. So the bar chart of responses shows predominantly a strong influence of hedonistic determinants on buyer behavior by the Metaverse. Subsequently, our hypothesis 8 is confirmed. So hypothesis 8 was that hedonic reinforcement affects buyer behavior in the Metaverse as important influencing factors in the future. So what we can conclude: so we conducted a survey to analyze possible influences of the attitude-behavior relationship of the buyer behavior. Based on the BPM model, we have developed 8 hypotheses. Within the survey, digital natives were asked to what extent their buyer behavior is influenced by the Metaverse. A priori, it could be said that this target group in particular has a strong influence on purchasing decision in the Metaverse. A posteriori, it can be determined that influences on buyer behavior will increase. For instance, it is noticeable that only 22% of the participants of the survey have made purchases in the Metaverse already and with the help of virtual reality. It is also noticeable that 45.8% of the survey participants showed skepticism in the future development of the Metaverse. Out of 8 hypotheses based on Foxall's BPM model, 4 were confirmed and 4 have been rejected. So here we have the references, and then thank you very much for your attention.